going to do a terrific show today, and I'm going to help people because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
This morning, I have Erich Mische. Erich Mische is with Spare Key. He's their executive director, and right now, Erich is heading down the Mississippi River on a homemade craft called the SS Hail Mary to raise money for Spare Key through hopeontheriver.com. Erich, good morning.
Hey, Darren, how are you?
I'm just fabulous. How are you?
I am standing on the concrete flood wall here overlooking the Mississippi River and my raft in this beautiful eerie fog that's wafting. It's a good view.
It is. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. That's a heck of a journey. It's so cool to see what you're doing. I was not obviously familiar with Spare Key until John brought this to us, and I think that's kind of the purpose of this whole thing for you, is to bring awareness to what you guys do and to help fund that, amidst all this COVID madness that we're dealing with.
Yeah, it really is, and, that's the chat. I mean, you just hit the nail right on the head, which is this COVID challenge. Our fundraising has been devastated by all of this, and, I couldn't do an event to bring people to the event, so I figured, well, I'll do an event to bring Spare Key people, and so that's where we're at.
Yeah, and that makes absolute sense, and it's cool to see what you've done. A lot of people have, again, had to take those creative routes to find that fundraising to make things happen, and the irony is Spare Key is there to help people who are in a similar position personally, in need of those funds in a crisis situation. Let us know a little bit about the mission of Spare Key and what you do.
Yeah, so what Spare Key does, we've been around since 1997, and at its core, our job is to help families facing a medical crisis avoid adding a financial crisis to their lives. And we do that by helping them cover their rent, their mortgage, car payment, utilities, and God forbid, funeral expenses. And so since 1997, we've served over 4,000 families with more than $4 million in that kind of financial assistance. And a couple of years ago, we started expanding the program and the organization beyond the 4 states that we had been serving since 2013 to where we are now registered to serve families in 49 states. 9 of those states are the 10 that are along the Mississippi River. Mm-hmm. The last state, the only state we are not registered to serve families, is Louisiana.
Gotcha.
So when I get to Baton Rouge, the idea is I'll get off the raft and I'll submit that paperwork, and we'll be able to serve families in all 50 states.
That'll be awesome, and tie a bow on state number 50 and complete your national reach.
Yeah, and I will tell you, the reach is obviously something that we're very proud of. What we're even more proud of is the fact that people have really rallied around this journey that I've taken from St. Paul, and now I'm in Cape Girardeau. And I couldn't have gotten here, frankly, without the kindness of a lot of strangers. And so you and I were chatting, one of those strangers who's now a friend is John McGowan. Mm-hmm. John helped me line up this trip. I got here yesterday. I was met by Mayor Bob Fox and Melissa Stickle from the Community Partnership with SEMO. Mm-hmm. After 62 miles on this raft, coming into a community where I don't know anybody and finding a new source of friends who not only were there to help me, but also to help elevate Spare Key, is really pretty amazing.
That is. As a guy who's, lived and grown here and very community-minded, as is our stations, that's awesome to see. And it really is a representative of our community. We love reaching out. We love helping and doing what we can. And so I'm glad you had a great reception, especially on a cold day.
Yeah, we're tied up right down here, at the river at Kids Fuel Barge. And I'm looking out on the river right now, and it's got this beautiful fog. I mean, you guys have a beautiful city here in Cape Girardeau. This is really, really amazing.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me be here.
We're pretty proud of it. You talked about how during this journey down the Mississippi, people gather at the banks of the river. And we historically can look back through pictures of downtown Cape, over the last 150 years of gatherings at the river. Before the flood wall was built back in, the 50s, I guess, when that was built, cars right down there on the riverfront. It was a gathering place. And so you're asking people to, again, more or less virtually gather on the riverbanks, but support the neighbors, the communities in need, and doing these things. where do they need to go if they want to get involved, if they want to donate, if they want to, find out more information?
So the best way to get involved and learn more about Spare Key and the trip is to go to hopeontheriver.com. That way I do a blog that I try to keep as updated as I can. And so I kind of describe the trip on my blog. The other thing is that you can actually watch me live stream this trip. I've got a system set up in here that allows me to basically turn on cameras and people can see everything that I'm seeing, as long as I can catch a wireless signal down the river. You can see that at hopeontheriver.com. You go to our Facebook page, which is Hope on the River. We've got an Instagram. We've got all the social media things, right?
Yeah.
But the best place for people to go is hopeontheriver.com. There you can make a donation. There you can find out more about Spare Key and who we serve, and the reason and the purpose behind this journey.
Yeah, and that's the core of the mission. I mean, it's such a cool journey for you, just huck finning it down the river. The name of your craft is the SS Hail Mary, which is kind of twofold. You hope it stays afloat, but then it's kind of a Hail Mary pass for your fundraising too. So we encourage our listeners to head to hopeontheriver.com and to share those social media links out. It's a very cool setup. The website's very cool. And just everything that you're doing through Spare Key, man, Eric, I'm so glad that we had this chance to chat and talk about what you're doing. And I can't wait to see what the results of your journey are for the fundraising side of it, and just to see where Spare Key goes from here.
Darren, I appreciate your time and the opportunity to visit with you and to share this journey with your listeners.
Hey, you're very welcome, Eric. Have a safe journey. Fair winds and following seas, as the Navy guys would say.
Thank you, my friend.
Can't wait to catch that live feed from when you sign in paperwork for state number 50 down in Baton Rouge. So that's going to be awesome.
It'll be a good day. Thanks, Darren.
You bet. Spare Key Executive Director Erich Mische and the SS Hail Mary heading down the river. Head to hopeontheriver.com to catch all the details.